talking about the actual Turkamullah supporters. I'm talking about the people who are flying the Lion and Sun flag. But at the same time, they're like, oh, football isn't political. These poor kids work so hard, blah, blah, blah. Like, they deserve our love. It's not like, oh, you motherfuckers, they made it political. Yes, football/soccer is not inherently political. But when you got assholes like this that work at fields, go to games, that hold their little bags for me, not school children, and go to games, and don't say a fucking word about what's going on in Iran, what has happened. And you got their captain, Taremi, fucking comes out and says, every country has its problems. No, dickhead. No, every country doesn't have a fucking problem where they go into the hospitals and murder people who came out to oppose the regime. Nobody in modern history, no government has killed. I think it's 100,000 people, but let's just go with the 40,000 that they've established. That's never happened. So I'm not sure how so many of these people, a lot of the people that I personally know and I've grown up with for 20 years, they're just sitting there saying, you know what, it's just football. It's like, okay, well, do you guys have such low morals that you would sell out your own countrymen for some entertainment? Because at the end of the day, like, it's just a damn game. They're not curing cancer. It's just a fucking form of entertainment. So it's becoming really, really annoying to see so many people going to bat for this team and pretending like these guys don't get this opportunity simply because they are supporters of the regime. A few of the people on that team are directly they're Sepah members, so they're IRGC members. Their families are involved within the IRGC as well. So it's just it's just every time I see this on TV and every time that I see both the players and then the idiot supporters who are living their cushy lives in the West pretend like, it's just a game, it's not political, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it fucking does. It does. Inherently, it's not political, but this team made it political because everything and anything to do with the Islamic regime is political. And for anybody who is not Iranian and is watching these games and thinks, they're just athletes, this, that, no, it's nonsense. Nobody's forced these people to come and play. There are other players who were pretty high up in the team. They spoke and they disappeared. And because, they actually had some balls and had a correct moral compass, they weren't just after their own benefits and their own gains. And I'll give you one last example of a person who did that in 2009 when they had the Green Movement because of the stolen votes. The biggest one of the people that came out and spoke the harshest against this regime was Ali Karimi. He's dubbed the Iranian Maradona. He was an amazing player. He had the chance of becoming Iran's all-time best player. And he spoke out so much that they retired him at 31 after a tournament that they went to a World Cup qualifier against, I think it was against South Korea. So if you guys hear anybody say that, yeah, it's not political, they didn't do anything wrong, they're just athletes, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. They fully support this regime. If not all 24, I guarantee you at least 20 of them are for this regime. They hate the people that came out and protested, and they haven't said a fucking word about all these people that got massacred and injured as a result of it. It's disgusting. I'm done.
So for people to understand this, by the way, Ram, thank you so much for bringing this to our attention. I think it's important to be said. Your idea still sucks. It's really choppy.
Oh,
It's not
I'm so
school.
sorry.
I mean, no, that's okay. That's okay. You don't need to say anything. I mean, it's okay. You don't need to say anything. I'm just saying, like, if you could fix the audio, it would be great because you bring up important topics. And I don't think it's that because other people's audio is not choppy, but like it really would be helpful if you could fix that, find a way to fix that. But to your point, a lot of people are misunderstanding the Iranian people's issue with the Islamic Republic soccer team because they think like, oh, we're just against it because they're using the Islamic Republic flag, and also because they have been silent about the massacre in early January. That is not at all it, okay? Because like, guys, come on, you don't need like athletes to always make statements about things. Obviously, they couldn't say anything because they would lose their career and stuff like that. All of these motherfuckers, they have actually came out and 100% supported the Islamic Republic's evil crackdown on the Iranian people. Like they didn't just, they weren't just silent, okay? They came out and 100% fully supported and thanked the IRGC for keeping the country stable, and by that they mean that they came out and massacred the Iranian people when they did an uprising. That they thanked the IRGC for that. That's what they did. And not only that, after the IRGC killed tens of thousands of Iranian people in a matter of hours, and not only they didn't spoke against that, they endorsed it, they supported that. They constantly go around and talk about Minab, 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 right? So you can see that they hold like Minab school name, the number of what is it, 164 or 184? They have that number. So they ignoring the, I don't know, the tens of thousands of Iranian people killed. They're ignoring that number and they going around everywhere and talking about the schoolgirls that died in Minab and just have that number everywhere on their shirts and their hands, and it is absolutely disgusting. So they are every single one of these people is a propaganda tool for the Islamic Republic, and the Islamic Republic says that, like, they say that we need to, they come on TV and they say we need to use the popularity of soccer as a way to keep bring people back to the Islamic Republic. That's what we need to do. Like, they don't even hide that, right? So they are self-admittedly propaganda tools of the Islamic Republic, and that's what we are saying, and that's why we're fighting against them, and that's why we boo them at the World Cup and everything. Anyways, I see some twos in the chat, so let's see what other people have to say.
All right. Next to comment on this, we have Jeffrey.
So to actually launch off Raham's very apt statement, people who will say that it's just a game, there's no politics to it. Well, I suggest they look up Jesse Owens. So Jesse Owens, obviously, most people know who he is, was the American of African descent Olympian who defeated Hitler's Übermensch at the 1936 Berlin Olympics. And then he refused to shake Hitler's hand. If you want a more contemporary example, you have two Russian athletes who publicly protested Putin's criminalized counterintelligence state's illegal war of aggression in Ukraine, Andrea Rublev and Daria Katsatina? I can't pronounce it. Daria. So, they very much protested Putin's illegal war of aggression in Ukraine. So, people who are saying that, oh, it's just a fucking, it's just a game, not to the 100,000 Iranian resistance that were slaughtered in 2 days. That actually surpassed the Rwandan genocide in intensity of killing. And the only time people died quicker, if memory serves me correctly, would be the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And even then, that was the United States targeting a regime, not a regime killing fucking citizens. Just saying. Raham, you're right on the fucking money.
I would like to also point out when it's the other side, oh, they love it. They love it when they kneel. Oh, the athletes are going to kneel during the anthem. They love it when the politics is on their side. Oh, the Nike has a sporting good, has a comment about, a political, preference stuff about Trump, about how we should run the government. So when it's on their side, oh, they love it when athletes get political. They love it when teams and sports and they put the rainbow flag on the NBA or the NFL and everybody has to wear a purple ribbon or something in the name of something. So this appeal to triviality, this appeal to it being, not important or normal is like, okay, when you always do it when it's your side, but if it's ever done on someone else's side, if any athlete gets a little patriotic, you have a big problem with it, right? So it's not just this particular thing with Iran. It's also a constant. It's also a constant takeover of everything that's popular: movies, TV, sports, entertainment, any type of entertainment platforms, and It's just invasive and it's perversive and it's always one-sided. I'm just getting that off my chest too. And with that, we go to Midori next. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how many of these players actually have a form of security if they do want to go and protest against the regime? I mean, what happened in Australia not too long ago? Remember that kerfuffle? The Iranian women there were like protesting, and then nobody wanted to take them. Nobody, no country wanted to say, "Hey, you can seek refuge here." Now, when politics needs to get involved, they don't get involved. So I don't know how many of these people are ex RGC and still playing. But then again, how many of them are actually trying to de facto and just like, I really can't because I've got an invisible gun in the back of my head. So I kind of have to play ball right here, right now.
That's that is very true. Here we have Jose next. Jose would like to speak on this. Go ahead, Jose.
I'm going to start with the most recent. Midori, the other they did, that is correct. Australia did offer them asylum, or yeah, political asylum. Then they talked to their parents and their kids, and they decided it was better to go back. Okay, so that's the gun that's being held to the players' heads, if there are any that actually give a shit. Okay, and to what Sketch was saying, we finally had a professional sports league that got a 2x4 handed up their rear end, which is Major League Baseball, who tried to stick the pride emblem on every single player's ball caps. And a couple of them put very appropriate, I know this, you're not religious, Armin, but Bible verses as to why they were against it on their hats, because they had to wear a hat. Okay. And one player tried to play without a hat, so he wouldn't do it. Baseball then took it on the chin because the majority of their baseball fans are the Bible Belt type, and they're not going to get bullied. So I was not surprised that the commissioner of baseball said no, no, there'll be no counter to what the players did, and there'll be no further Pride Night events in Major League Baseball. They heard from the fans, the people that put money. Also, the fact that they have a tax exemption from the federal government, and a couple senators and congressmen said, "You're not going to have it for long if you keep this shit up." I wish they had it on the other teams too, but they don't. That's all.
All right. With closing statements from Roham, let's try to keep it short. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so regarding the women's team, so Australia actually had offered them asylum, but then the government went and arrested their families and blackmailed them into coming back, even though a lot of their family members said, "Don't come back. It's okay. You have a better life. We'll sacrifice ourselves." They basically had to go back, and the way that they even seek asylum was they ran away from the handlers in Australia. There are videos of this, of the handlers trying to chase them through the hotel. This is the type of regime that these athletes play under. So if you are against them, you won't go far at all. That goes into wrestling. That goes into all the major sports, which is basically football and wrestling are the two big ones in Iran.
All right, that is incredibly sad. I would ask a question of Armin. Have you heard anything about them or their families at all? Maybe an update for another day, since football will be a topic for a while. Maybe we could take a look into that. I'd love to know if we don't know now, maybe later, get an update of what has happened to those young ladies and their families. Or maybe we could go to super chats if we have no information right now.
We don't have any information right now, and I suspect it's because the Islamic Republic is making it so. Because, but if I do hear an update, like, because the Islamic Republic puts a lot of pressure, especially because that was such a PR nightmare for the Islamic Republic. So I would suspect that the families have been threatened severely to not get any more information out. and I think that's why we haven't heard anything. But if we do hear anything, I'll keep an eye on it, and if we do hear anything, I'll let you guys know. And thank you guys for, you know, you guys are amazing. So thank you for that, for always looking after us and wanting updates on this. Okay. All right, let me go to the super chats then. Um, Yael from Jerusalem give with a super chat saying, "Has anyone viewed the three-part documentary called Hezbollah Inc.? If so, thoughts on it? I have the link if allowed to share." I mean, YouTube doesn't let us allow people to share. If you're an admin, YouTube allows you to share a link, but if you're not an admin, we don't have any ability to allow that. But I think people could search for it, Hezbollah Inc. I think it should show up. Has anybody in the chat, in the discussion group, has anybody watched Hezbollah Inc.? Has anybody seen that? Yeah, I guess not. Okay, but guys, keep an eye on that. If you guys want to watch that, that seems like a good documentary. And thank you for suggestion. Jets, thank you so much. Jets has a new picture. The lion picture just became a member. Is that the same Jets as before? Okay, well, thank you, Jets, for being a member. Casey with a super chat saying oh, look at this. 7 right-wing presidents have won in Latin America. Well, that's a huge shift, right? 7. Wow. I knew that that shift is happening. I didn't know that it was that big. Thank you for telling us. Ida with the super chat. Thank you so much, Ida, saying the Iranian regime has promised Hamas that it will raise the issue of Gaza during negotiations with the Trump administration. Did you hear anything about that? I did hear about this. So, and I once that you gave me the super chat, I went to look up to see what the exact detail was. The claim is that the Islamic Republic promised Hamas that they raise, the Gaza issue in the negotiations. But what people are saying is that the reality is different. That's what they publicly said, but behind the closed doors, some people are reporting that they offer to disarm and limit Hamas in exchange for U.S. sanctions relief. Again, they're probably are lying about this, but that's what they were two messaging out there. One message for Hamas that we got you, bros, don't worry, we got your back. And behind closed doors, they told Americans that we will disarm them if we get like for sanctions relief. So these are the two messaging, and what really happens is probably different from. I think they're lying to everybody, like, obviously we'll see what happens, right? So it is actually Qatar and Turkey who have promised to protect Hamas's political status under the new Trump frameworks. So Qatar and Turkey are now they promised Hamas that they will be protected with whatever Trump is doing. Again, I know like a lot of people are not talking about Qatar and Turkey's influence. Everybody's talking about the United States, the Islamic Republic, Hezbollah, and Israel when it comes to this MOU. But the two major players being very, very active right now, which is Qatar and Turkey, and not that enough. This is why President Trump was talking about Syria and Jolani. Okay, like this is Turkey's influence in all of this right now. So that's my understanding, but we'll see what happens. I don't see Hamas being disarmed by the Islamic Republic or anyone else except Israel. And Hamas gets disarmed only by not having any arms to hold their guns. You kill them, and that's how you disarm Hamas. Okay, and I think that the only way to disarm Hamas is to let Israel do what it does best in Gaza. That's how you disarm them. And thank you, Ida. Thank you for your support always. We reach our goals, Ida, every time because of you. Thank you. And Fuxa, thank you so much for the super chat saying, who do you support in the World Cup then, Armin? Oh my God. I don't actually have, well, I just know I'm against the Islamic Republic team. Okay, I'll support every and all teams that are on the other side of the Islamic Republic. Whoever is playing with the Islamic Republic, I support that team. Is that a good answer? I don't follow sports that closely. Should I? I don't know. I don't have any time. Okay. But yes, Sweden is like playing against the Islamic Republic. Yeah, that's the team I'm supporting. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Yep, that's fair. Okay, that's a good answer. People like the answer. My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.